Emotions running high right now as the family of little Latavia Johnson tries to come to terms with the capture of her alleged killers. These two men, Robert Gaines and Robert Lee Brown, are locked up, one in Nebraska, the other in Illinois. Police said they are responsible for the shooting that killed Johnson as she got a glass of milk from her kitchen 18 years ago. Well, 24-hour News 8's Steve Kelso was with the family all last night, and as news came down, and has stayed now with this story ever since. Steve, what can you tell us?
Brett, this morning we're learning a little more at a news conference about how police say they were able to track the suspects in Latavia Johnson's murder, but they're playing a lot of details close to the vest. We'll probably hear more of those as we get into court, as these two men are brought into the court system. But because of the long history of this case, it was emotion that took center stage at this morning's news conference.
Hi, I'm Latavia's mother. I thank God that they found the murder of my daughter. I'd like to thank the cold case team.
Try as she might, the emotions still run too deep for Rochelle Johnson.
She wants to make a statement.
Latavia's sister sat in the front row of the news conference, listening intently to the details of the arrest of the two men police say murdered their sister. Police have had their eyes on Robert Lee Brown and Robert Lee Gaines for a lot of years.
It's not a matter of tracking them down. I mean, we've been able to track them over the years and know where they had moved and relocated. The problem is getting evidence that is sufficient to bring charges.
Now, police are not saying just what was the big break in this case yet, but we did learn today the reason they were able to refocus efforts on this case is a low number of pending unsolved homicides in the city. In October, detectives Kristen Rogers and Patrick Needham were reassigned to the case. Rogers says this case carried something more than a sense of duty.
Well, it's a case you want to solve. It's a case, being a mother and being a police officer, 8-year-old, you want to get down to the bottom of it. And it's frustrating to know it's gone so long, but there's a lot of paperwork to go through and a lot of rumors and a lot of things to dispel.
But today it's the family of Latavia Johnson who feels the most as fresh tears fall from a 2-decade-old wound.
God is good.
All the time.
Yes, He is.
Now, coming up tonight at 5 and 6, we're going to hear more from Latavia Johnson's family as well as police about this case as we continue to track the process of finding justice for Latavia Johnson. We're live in Grand Rapids. Steve Kelso, 24-hour News 8.
All right, thank you, Steve. We have been learning a lot about the shooting death of Latavia Johnson since this story broke yesterday afternoon. The two suspects currently being extradited to Michigan. Investigators say Brown shot into the house after he was robbed in the parking lot of a Hall Street party store across the street from her house. They think that the shooting was retaliation for the robbery. Police believe Brown pulled the trigger and Gaines was with him. Now here's a look at their criminal backgrounds. When Brown was arrested, he was on probation for a drug charge. He previously had been charged for larceny from a building and uttering and publishing. Gaines had 2 previous offenses on his criminal background as well. A check revealed one for retail fraud and the other for larceny from a building. He served some time in jail and paid fines for those crimes.